Hello guys and welcome back to another PA video. Today I'm doing something completely different to normal. I'm actually playing a Galactic War, and what you're seeing is a recording of that. So I figured this Galactic War mode, it's not particularly exciting, so I thought of how I could make it a bit more interesting, and I decided to see how quickly I could complete one. So yeah, it's on absurd difficulty, and it's the smallest size of system possible. And I was starting with the default commander, the one that's only vehicles. Though one of my early techs was air, which was quite lucky. That's good. Means you can find the enemy a lot sooner on. So yeah, this is the first game here. You're seeing it very sped up, and the timer is sped up accordingly. So it should be correct. And yeah, it's on this lava planet. Luckily, the bases are fairly close together, and there's this lane that you can see there between the two bases, which means the vehicles are actually quite well suited to this map. So yeah, I'm just expanding fairly slowly, a bit slower than normal, because of those vehicles and lack of combat fabric claim, obviously. I think getting the bot tech early on is going to be very useful for people for this going faster. Yeah, those boom bots would be very useful, and the combat fabric claim helps you get the early factories up a lot faster. So as soon as I see a bot factories tech, I'm definitely going to get it. So basically all I'm doing now, I don't have any T2, so I'm just building all the factories whether I have the metal for it or not, and then hoping that I will eventually get that metal at some point, and then by the time I do, I'll have the factories to actually spend it. So that's why I'm not. That's why I'm still building factories, even though my metal isn't in particularly great shape. And you can see we got quite well into their base there. Didn't manage to kill the commander. We were quite far off that, but definitely removed a lot of his units, which is why I switched over to Infernos. And now you can see, yep, the commander's down. So that's the first game gone. Now I've left in all of this time here. The only time that I've skipped out is the gap between clicking fight and when you get a view of the system, because there are some fairly ridiculous loading times in this game. So my strategy can't really change a whole lot in this game, because I haven't got any new techs or anything, but I do have an enemy right next to me, so that's something I'm going to have to deal with, preferably sooner rather than later, so I can actually get that metal that the opponent spawned on. So I've actually switched over to Infernos now, and my plan was to march my commander into that base and combox, preferably avoiding his comm and destroying his units. Well, avoiding his comm until units and turrets have been destroyed, and then that'll give my Infernos a chance to get in close and hopefully deal the damage without me taking too much damage to my comm. So it worked fine. I did go a little bit lower than I was hoping, but I was wanting to protect those Infernos behind the commander so they could definitely get in close. You can see now I'm actually floating metal because I've been expanding my metal and my commander hasn't been building factories. So I've got out a couple of extra fabricators to help my commander get those factories up faster. And yeah, same strategy as last game now, spamming out lots of T2. You can see he's got an orbital launcher up there, and this is actually a game with multiple planets. Now I thought I was going to get really lucky here and get an Astraea snipe on his comm. That would finish the game nice and quick, but it didn't happen. He was picking up a fabricator, and I missed the Astraea anyway. But yeah, that shouldn't be a problem as long as he doesn't get a teleporter up and move his comm off planet. And yeah, you can see that was quite close there. And that's, well, he got some good Uber cannons there. But if he'd been missing those Uber cannons, then he would have died a lot earlier. But now you can see the Infernos coming in from both sides, and he is gone. So just coming up on 20 minutes now, about 10 minutes per game. That seemed fairly regular for it actually taking 10 minutes in each game. I don't think many of them went over 10 minutes. And I seem to get fairly lucky. I didn't, all the way through here, I didn't really have to do much invading of other planets. And look at that, I've got bots now, which I was very happy about. And I am actually just completely spamming them out, because now I feel like if I just build enough docks to destroy any point defences they've built in their base, then I can switch straight over to boom bots and get a really quick kill. Which is what my goal was here, is to build up a decent amount of docks, enough to clear out a base, and then start that boom bot production to actually target the comm with. So yeah, you can see I've switched my factories over to boom bots now. I think it's around 4 factories, perhaps. And I am combat fabric claiming, so that is why I've got all my factories up a lot faster in this game. At that point, I tried to send the boom bots around the other side to avoid those units, but his comm was on this side anyway, so I switched it over. And it didn't matter anyway. He had more than enough boom bots there for quite an easy comm kill. Very simple builds, which is nice when you don't have many factories to build. Basically, build as many factories as you can of that one factory. So I have queued up a hell of a lot more bot factories. The enemy is going orbital again, so you'll probably see me keeping my fighters around there. Yep, looking to kill that Astraea, stopping him from getting off the planet. That might have been a mistake there. It's hard to tell. He could have been going for his commander. I actually killed the Astraeus before it picked up the unit, so I might have missed a quick kill there. But there were some vehicle fabricators right next to that commander at that stage, so it's possible that he was going for one of them, and it's probably quite likely. I don't think that I don't think the AIs, that's what they're called, will tend to pick up their commanders with Astraeus very often. Right, so in this one I believe I got an upgrade. Yeah, I got the improved fabricator build arm, which I didn't realise, and probably should have realised, that it actually makes the fabricators use a hell of a lot more metal. So as you can see there, I just queued up a second combat fabricator to really aggressively reclaim my commander and hopefully support those new and improved fabricators. Right, so this time I have got tier 2 vehicle tech, so I decided to try and rush that out, what with my improved commander fabricator tech and my faster fabricators, so I managed to get that up pretty quick. A 4-minute T2 is pretty damn good, considering there's I also have 3 other T1 factories. So yeah, we're building up the levelers now, and I'm building a teleporter because it seems like that's quite a long way to walk the levelers, so I figured I'd drop a teleporter around the other side. Also means we're going in somewhere where chances are his army isn't going to be, so we might be able to get a comm kill without as many of our units dying. So yeah, we're coming into the base now. Comm is around that side. No trouble killing him there, and even some of our levelers survived. And at this point I have realised that the enemy is not on the same planet, so I queued up a orbital launcher, and there he is. He has got a T2, but it's a T2 air, and he doesn't seem to have built many gunships, so it shouldn't be much of a problem for me. Yep, no problem at all. Only one gunship. Spinners made short work of it. And now it's just a case of getting the comm, and there he goes. So continuing on, that was one of the bosses there. So we got quite a lot of free tech, and now this is the penultimate fight. As you can see, the faction leader is on the next one, and the only way to get to that faction leader is to go around the side. I actually missed one of the loading screens there, obviously, but that's fine. It's probably only a minute or so. What's a minute out of 40 minutes? Oh well. Going for a similar build here. Not going to be rushing that T2 quite as hard, but still going to be getting the T2 vehicles up pretty early. I believe for this fight I also had a tier 2, not a tier 2, just a vehicle upgrade that gives them 25% damage boost, I believe. And I believe that applies to tier 2 vehicles as well, which is fairly ridiculous. And yeah, I actually forgot to build scouts here somehow, but my little bomber that I sent off went straight into one of the enemy bases, so yeah, go figure. Docks not trading particularly efficiently there with the tanks. And I believe for some reason the recording freezes. Yeah, there. I have no idea why this happened. You're just going to have to trust me that I wasn't cheating. Or you could watch the replay, I suppose. Okay, so the recording lost a couple minutes there, but it's fine. I basically built up about 7 levelers and marched them into the closest enemy to me, and that was more than enough to kill his comm. And then by that time, I'd built up enough for the next one. So, let's see. I don't think there are any freezes in this second fight. Yep, there we are, spawning in. Unfortunately, in this game here, there are 3 spawning planets, I believe, or maybe even 4. So I really have absolutely no idea where the enemies are, and there are 3 of them. So I'll do some quick scouting here. These air scouts are unbelievable on maps this small. Literally, they cover almost half of the planet. So I could decide very, very early on that I was in fact alone. And that's very important. It really does change how you're playing quite a lot. So yeah, I'm getting that T2 up very quick again. 3rd factory. Probably be up by 4 minutes around that at least. And I've got a few vehicle fabricators out. I decided not to bother with any air fabricators because there's really no need for it on a planet this small. And also I have an upgrade for the vehicles at this point that gives them a bit of a speed boost, which is pretty good. I'm not sure what I noticed there. It might have been a Stratus. Oh no, I was just setting my pip. Okay, getting a bit of T2 eco up now. You can see I've got ridiculous amount of eco, so I'm just queuing up a load of T2 factories and getting that orbital launcher up. And now I've found one of the bases and another of the bases because they're both launched Astraeus. And yeah, there they go, off to a moon that isn't mine. And that one just launched a radar, so I reckon I've just yeah, basically what I did there was as I saw each of these things, these orbital units appear, I would just go to the place and set a camera anchor so I wouldn't forget where it was. And yeah, there's a radar going over to find actually where the commander is and find the best place to put that teleporter. Just don't want to be wasting any time running our units around looking for the comm. And unfortunately, as the teleport was on about 90%, it got shot down. But I did manage to get one up with the second fabricator that I sent to the other base. So I just went for that guy first. And then built a teleporter again. And linked that back to the home planet as I have some more units stacked up on there. Where they aren't doing any good. So there goes the second one. Doing pretty quick succession there. And now I'm just looking for the third, and I do have an orbital unit that has been launched by him, so I know roughly where I want to be putting that teleporter. And yeah, now I'm transporting those units from the other teleporter on that same planet over there. Though I put it in slightly the wrong place. The comm is actually not near that teleporter. It was just over by this other teleporter here, which you can see now, and it did manage to escape. But unfortunately, he didn't switch off his teleporter, so I managed to move some units through there. And while it wasn't enough to kill the comm, it was enough to allow me to find exactly where he was, which is very, very nice. Otherwise, I would have had to check every single moon. before I could build that teleporter, but as it is, got one down nice and quick. He had a bit of air as defense, but that wasn't nearly established yet, and yeah, there he is. And he goes down. So, there you go. I decided to freeze the time when the victory screen comes up for the last one. So yeah, it took me an hour and 5 minutes to do that. And obviously, this can be done much faster. I only did one try at this, so you could get much better text, and you could get a much better system if the odds were in your favour. And obviously, there are some strategies to this that I haven't worked out yet. So I might try doing one of these again. I did actually quite enjoy it. It was quite fun. And if you would like to give it a go and try and beat my time, which I'm sure a lot of people would be able to do, then yeah, give it a shot. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.